What if a phone call, a simple, everyday phone call, could trap you in a nightmare? And I mean a nightmare you couldn't wake up from. Well, today we're diving into a short but chilling account titled The Call from Within. And the story insists right from the start that this was not a dream.
So, right off the bat, the story makes this really bold claim. It's a promise, you know? A promise that what we're about to hear is real. This isn't just some made up scary story. No, we're told it's a true account. And that just makes every little detail that follows feel, well, that much colder, doesn't it?
You know how it is with these stories, right? Every horror story seems to start with a moment of calm. So, to really get a feel for the terror, we first have to appreciate the quiet, ordinary night that's about to be completely shattered.
All right, so let's meet our main character, a guy named Amit. His life is pretty much defined by the night shift. While the rest of the city is sleeping, he's working at a call center. He usually gets back to his empty home in the dead of night, right around 2 a.m. It's a simple life, predictable, solitary.
So on this night, he's been home for just over an hour, probably deep in sleep. And then the silence is broken. The clock reads 3:07 a.m., that time so many people call the witching hour. And right then, his phone begins to ring.
And this is the moment everything changes. That ordinary night, it's over. The nightmare is just about to begin.
So he's jolted awake and he answers the phone, half conscious, in that really groggy and disoriented state we've all been in. He's not alert, and he is absolutely not prepared for what's waiting for him on the other end of that line.
I mean, he's expecting a hello, or maybe a wrong number. Instead, there's just silence. Well, not total silence. There's the faint, slow, deliberate sound of someone breathing, and nothing else. So Amit, he's confused, probably a little annoyed, and he asks the only logical question you can. Hello, who is this? Why are you calling me at 3 in the morning? After a beat of silence, this slow voice replies. But it's not an answer. It's a question that makes no logical sense at all. And yet it sends a chill right down his spine. Suddenly, he knows this isn't just a prank call. This feels like a presence.
Those words just hit him. A primal kind of fear just washes over him, that unmistakable, horrible feeling of being watched. He slams the phone down, and his eyes immediately dart to the dark corner of his room. But there's nothing there.
So he tries to dismiss it, right? It's a prank, it's a dream, anything rational. But just as he's trying to calm his nerves, the situation escalates in a way that just completely defies all logic. And then, suddenly, the phone rings again. Any hope he had that this was all just a bad dream is just shattered. But this time, before he answers, he looks at the screen. And that's when his hands start to shake. The caller ID, it isn't an unknown number or even a familiar one. It's his number. The call isn't just coming from some stranger. It's coming from inside the room. With his fear at an absolute peak, he answers. And that same slow, menacing voice gives a simple 2-word command. And okay, this brings us to the climax. The voice on the phone gave a command, and now it's like reality itself is starting to obey it. The exact moment the voice says look, he feels it. And this isn't a draft from an open window. No, this is a cold, damp breath. And it's not coming from the corner of the room anymore. It's immediate. It's intimate. It is right there, right behind him. In that moment of pure, absolute terror, against every single instinct screaming at him not to, he forces himself to turn. He has to see what's there. And the story never tells us what he saw. Maybe some things are just too terrible to describe. All we're left with is the sound of his scream, tearing through the silence of the apartment. But what happens after the scream? The story isn't over. In fact, you could say the most chilling part, the actual evidence, is discovered in the light of day. The next morning, his neighbors get concerned and they break down his door. They find Amit all alone, lying unconscious on the floor. Now he's alive, but he's unresponsive. As his neighbors try to make sense of this scene, they notice something on his phone, a detail that turns this whole strange event into something truly sinister.
And here it is, the final, undeniable proof. The call from 3:07 a.m. was recorded, and when they play it back, it reveals two distinct voices. You can hear Amit's confused questions, and then the slow, menacing replies of someone else, someone who was right there in the room with him.
Amit swears it wasn't a dream. The recording proves he wasn't talking to himself. The evidence is clear, but the truth feels impossible. So it leaves us with this one terrifying question. If the call came from his own phone, whose voice was on the other end?